Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Unemployed to Unstoppable. We've got a potential takeover, we've got 2 league games to go through, we've got a potential new hero up front, and we've got some progress in the league. So lots to unpack. Join me as we break down into the next episode of Unemployed to Unstoppable. And welcome back. So first thing I'd just like to say is this is episode 10, and I just want to say a big thanks to everyone who has tuned in, who has stuck a thumbs up, subscribed, etc. It's really helpful in trying to help grow the channel of what is potentially just my latest hobby. But it's nice of you all to have joined us. Hopefully you've been enjoying it first and foremost, and hopefully we can develop it together to become something just a little bit bigger. So all that being said, I'll quit my turbo waffle and we'll get into how we're getting on with Budafok in the Hungarian First Division. So first thing really to try and unpack is where we are in the league. Obviously last time you were with us, we played the opener against Budapest and fell to a quite a narrow defeat in what was an otherwise fairly close game. We have managed to get up to 17 points now, so after 10 games we've won 5, so 50% win rate. It's not too bad. We've drawn 2 of those and we've lost 3, and as you can see, the 3 we lost to is Ferencváros, who are top of the league, and they've won every single game, so you can kind of chalk that one up to the better team winning. Budapest, who were 2 points and 1 place above us, so again the better team, and probably the most disappointing was PAX, which I think we should have probably won that game. It was very close to fair. We got beat 1-0, but unfortunate. The other games that we drew, so we drew with MTK, who are again in 6th place, so that's not too bad, and against Vasas, who are in 2nd, and we were away from home. Both 2-2 games, so that shows you we can score goals, and we're probably a little bit leaky at the back. And then our victories, which have all been quite convincing really, is we beat Puskás 3-0 away. We got a 2-1 win against ZTE, who were the team that came up with us. We got a 5-1 away win against Kisvada. We beat Fehava 1-0, who were the team who just got a new manager. And then we got a 3-0 win against Keksmeti TE. If we go into the schedule, I think Puskás was the latest game, and actually in terms of player ratings, it was an absolute phenomenal performance. They had very little in terms of chances, as you can also see from where you left Leicester's. If I just put it there, so it's their 1-0 loss to Budapest. Is I made a slight change up front and brought in Oliver Jurgens, and as you can see, he got quite a few goals in a short space of time. So he 1, 2, 3 games in a row, a total of 4 goals. And we then brought Krivakovic in for a game. Jurgens came back in, he got another goal. Again, he's been back in for another goal, and that's kind of it. But in terms of where that leaves us in terms of top scorers in the squad, he's actually top scorer ahead of Adam Pinter. Again, really crucial that we kept in. Krivakovic is starting to contribute some goals. Separate issue with him we'll go into in a minute, which is something that happens in FM quite a lot, and something I'm normally quite wary of, but I've neglected to notice it on this occasion. So not too bad in terms of goals, not too bad in terms of performances. As we can see, the average ratings are all pretty good. I mean, Svatmari, we've tried to slowly get him some game time. He's pulled out an 8.52 over the last 5 games, which is fantastic. So overall, it's all going pretty good. It's just see out this side of the screen there, I need to slightly tweak my views. And again, for those who don't know, you can customize these views to make it show what you want. I quite like having the ability and potential columns there. One, to kind of highlight who my best players are according to the scouts in terms of current ability, and 2, to really make sure that any players we bring in have high potential. What we don't want to end up is with like Kovacs down the bottom, who was a great servant to the club. He's got no room to grow there really, so he's kind of hit his peak. He's on the way back down the other side, and there's no room to grow. Where what we actually want is the likes of Jurgens. He's got an alright ability currently where he is now, but he's got room to grow. And with all that being said, we'll just have a quick look at Jurgens, who's our top scorer. There's nothing particularly outstanding about him, but what I would say is he's just got a really good fair spread of the stats that he needs. So we play him in the advanced forward role, so as you can say, dribbling, finishing and first touch is crucial. And again, for those who haven't played the game in any kind of real depth, is these green bars are the ones that are really essential to the role, and the blue ones are kind of the niceties that go in support of that. So again, you can see for the ones he needs, outside of composure, everything is in double figures, and that's kind of reflected in his 5 games, 5 goals, kind of a return. So really good, 8 appearances overall, 5 goals, lots of potential to go. An Estonian international, I can see him doing really well for us. In terms of the other issue we had with Krivakovic, what I didn't notice is when I signed him, I agreed to play him in a set position. So he wants to play as a deep line forward. Now that's not quite what we do in our formation. I like to play an advanced forward, which he has the stats for, and he can play it, and he's arguably slightly better than Jurgen's in the green stats because they're all double figures, and he's got a little bit more first touch. So he can play it. However, we agreed in the loan agreement that we would play him as a deep line forward, and that was a club stipulation. Now, because we haven't done that, the club's been on our ear, and potentially he might get recalled if we don't start playing him a deep line forward role. And then you're left with the decision of do you modify your tactics every time you bring him on, or do you just cut your losses, let him go back to his club, stick with Jurgens? You've got Kovacs as an understudy, and maybe look to bring in someone else in the transfer window as a permanent solution. The only other player I really want to talk about in terms of surprising us is Adam Halmai. Again, he came in as a bit of a squad player. He's pretty much cemented himself as first team on the left-hand side. 7 appearances, 3 goals. As you can see, his rating's really good, and already rated at quite high value of money. So, again, the transfers have gone better than expected. The back 4 are playing phenomenally well. We've got lots of players doing well in terms of the training rating as well. So, all being said, it's gone a lot better than I expected, especially after the first match. I did think we would be in for a bit of a rough ride after we lost the first game, but so far so good. All that being said, then this episode we're going to have an away game at Gio to see if we can keep the good run going, and then just a kind of a distraction, we'll have a Hungarian Cup 4th round against Puskás, who we've recently beat 3-0 away. Hopefully we can carry on that form moving into a home match and keep our name in the hat for the next round. So stay tuned. I'll click through. Oh, before I go, actually, that last bit of news I did mention was the takeover. That's what I'd stop the save when I was clicking through as it popped up. We're currently under a transfer embargo, linked to a possible takeover, a consortium buying the club for 1.5 million and looking to invest some money in the club. There's 2 things to this really. One, it's fantastic if and when it happens because you get some boost to the club finances, maybe some extra stuff in terms of facilities. The downside is quite often these come with a management change, so a new owner may not want me to stay on as manager. So this could bring us prematurely to the end of our Budafok reign. Again, in terms of where we go next and looking on the horizon, I've kept an eye on what jobs are kind of available. I mean, there's a couple in there. Bulgarian First League would be nice to try. FC Hacker in the Finnish League. Probably a little bit out of our range still at the minute because we've not really done anything. But when you start looking into the insecure clubs, you start dropping down to maybe IFK Marenheim. And what I think would be good would be to bounce around some of the other leagues as we make our journey. We could go straight to England and try and climb up to the Premier League, but I'd like to go around some of the places I've never done before because that kind of variance to the game is actually, I'm actually really enjoying it, playing in a league where I can't pronounce the players particularly well. I haven't heard of a lot of the clubs there, and it's kind of reinvigorated it, and I'm really enjoying the save. So hopefully you are too. I will this time click through. I'll get us ready for the first match, so join us and see if we can carry on this fantastic form into the next league game. Well, news just in, we've talked about a potential takeover. As you can see on the screen now, the consortium takeover has been completed. We have a personal message saying they'd like to increase the transfer budget following the takeover. A quick review of our expectations, which we're doing all right, attempting to avoid relegation. I think it's going well. Wage budget we'll get on to. They've lifted the transfer embargo and now they want to discuss increasing the available transfer budget. So I've not been to one of these meetings on FM24 yet, so are we interested in a bigger transfer budget? I mean, I don't know how anyone could say no with a straight face, but yes, we love the idea. They're going to start putting plans into motion, want to stay on good terms with us, So hopefully we get something substantial. So with transfer budgets increased from 4,000 to 169,000 pounds, with a wage budget deficit of 13,000. So what that's really going to enable us to do is massively strengthen the club, certainly as we get to the next transfer window. So that is something to look forward to. So we will keep our eye out. In terms of the scouting centre, we have been we're keeping an eye on players. I regularly click through who's been recommended to us. But in terms of who we've already kind of got on the list that we've been looking at, there's some of the players already. So lots of high potential players there. There's a couple who've already got the ability. It's just kind of refining where we want to sit in terms of that. Do we invest in youth to make us great in the future, or do we bring in immediate high profile players to kind of get it quicker at the expense of long-term development and kind of making money yourself? So it's something to look forward to in the summer transfer window. It won't be that many games away. It might even be in the next episode, but we will see. So I'll carry on getting ready for the next game. We'll get through the Euro game. We'll get through the Puskas Cup game, and then we'll see where we are from that. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again very shortly. So here we go for the league game away at Győr. I think they're currently sat 10th in the table at the minute, so we're a few places above them, so we'd be expected to do reasonably well. Starting lineup, we've got Kacentrix in goal. He's the loan keeper we've got in. He's been playing quite well of late, so we'll keep him in. Part of the loan agreement as well as his first choice for us, so we've got to play him in a high number of games. Back four of Bardos. Kusk has come in. He's playing well recently as well. He's kind of reforced his way back into the side. Sexardi and Simerton at right back. Midfield three of Ola. He's had to be brought in because we've got an injury to Bensve in that deep line role. With Kasonka and Stoljka up top in the middle two positions. Kasonka playing really well, and he brings us a lot of kind of a goal threat from that position. Then we've got Satmari. He's coming on the left-hand side. That's because Halma is kind of forcing his way back in from injury. Horvath's kind of the understudy to that. And then we've got Pinter. He's our first name on the team sheet as far as I'm concerned on that right-hand side. And we've brought Jurgens in up top to replace Krivokapic just for this game, because I think he's going to offer us a little bit more in terms of that natural advance forward. Always good. They've kind of agreed with it. It's always good when that happens. Occasionally you get one where somebody disagrees or they're not happy with the opposition they're playing against. But we'll get straight into it and see how we can get on. The last few games we've started quite well quite early. We've had a few chances. Don't get me wrong, we've missed a few as well. This seems to be slowing down a little bit somewhat, but Pinter breaks down the right hand side. Comes back to Stoljka. He's been robbed of the ball. They've got a chance to break. They've won it back. Stoljka puts it across. Satmari on the far left. And again, it's really weird with Satmari because last season we brought him in to kind of be that inside forward and bring us that goal threat. And he couldn't quite force his way into the team. He's had a bit of time out. He's come back now. I don't know whether it's the players around him, but that's a fine strike with his left foot. First time into the bottom corner. And he's really starting to integrate himself now into that left-hand side. And that'll bring a bit of competition for Halmai, who's the natural first choice as it stands. And it's always good to have a bit of competition in the squad. So it's been refreshing. It's good to see him back. I thought we maybe made an error in the transfer window. I saw a lot of potential in him, and he's finally starting to realise some of that. Again, Stoljka, he surprised me. He's come in. He's kind of slotted in first team. I brought him in on loan to be a bit of a kind of squad player. But he's been doing all right. So we'll take that as a win as well. Good control and possession, and that's the theme with all our games. It always seems to be that we control possession and really kind of limit the other team and the number of chances they create, which is enabling us to, even if we only get one goal, but maybe gust in two, we're always in with a good shout because the back four is so strong in limiting them with their chances. As you can see, Győr at the minute, no shots, none on target. I mean, I'm sure that'll change. But while that happens, you're in a really strong position. As Pinter broke down the right, but it broke down. They've got a chance to counter down the left-hand side. It doesn't look like we're going to win it back this time. Break to the edge of the box. I mean, he's had that too long. He should have had that taken off him 2 or 3 times. This looks like it's going to end poorly for us. Doka hits it in. Great save by the keeper. Kind of get away with one there. I mean, they had a lot of time on the ball playing in the areas we didn't want them in. Jurgen's not playing particularly great, so we're going to get Kravakovic on up front. See what other kind of changes were recommended by the coaching staff there. Normally it's for fading fitness. As Aqua hits an absolute rocket into the top corner in off the crossbar. And I don't know how much of that happened kind of while we were looking at the substitutions, but throwing down the left-hand side, they kind of passed the ball back into the middle of the pitch. Not really any danger, but well, I don't think that is kind of steps out the way and goes the wrong way. He should have maybe pushed him rather than waiting on the midfielder to track him back. So it might be because Stojka's tiring. The last 5 minutes then, the game's kind of slipped away from us a little bit. We were in a strong position, one shot on target. If this is a second shot on target and we lose the game, that's going to be hard to take. Fortunately, we got away with it. I will take another point away in a season where we were expected to finish rock bottom. I think we can take that as a positive. So we just get through the post-match team talk, have a quick look at league table. I don't think we'll be able to keep up the pace to stay in them kind of European spots. Be nice if we can. We've got the extra transfer budget as we strengthen in January. It worked well for us last season. If we can put ourselves in a good position, it's a 33 game season, I think. Yeah, 33 game season. You play each team 3 times. So that's as a third of the way there. So in theory, if we can match that another 2 times, we'll be there. But we all know that injuries and form play a big part of that. So we'll take a distraction from the league at the minute and we'll go and play a cup game, see how we can get on with that. We haven't picked up any trophies yet. We've got that one promotion, but we need to look to build our CV as we try and strengthen our potential for the next opportunity that might come our way. So stick with us. There'll be a little bit of rotation because the games come thick and fast around this period, and we'll see if we can get through in the next round of the cup. Welcome back to the cup game at home to Puskas. A couple of changes to the starting lineup then. So Gundel Takacs has come back into the starting lineup. I'm going to play him in the cup games. Show a little bit of loyalty to him. I mean, ultimately he's going to be first team again when Concentrix leaves. Back 4 of Bardos, Seles, who's come in for Kusk alongside Sexardi and Simmer. Midfield 3 of Kovacs, Stojka and Kasonka, with Kovacs coming in for Ola. And then Halmai's coming on the left for St. Mari, and Kravakovic is coming for forgot his name now, Jurgens. So Pinter, Kravakovic and Halmai leading the front line. Again, just a little bit of rotation. Some players still fading. It's the second game in 3 or 4 days, so we've got to be careful with some of these players. I'm tempted to give Nagy some game time as well, the understudy at right back. He's kind of missed out on a bit of play time now that Simmert's come back into the squad. And it'd be nice to get him a little bit of development, especially considering he's a Hungarian homegrown. Let's take good advantage of the home form here at home stadium. Let's give the fans something to see and see if we can just get a few more goals. Try and get this game comfortable. I think the problem we had with the last game is we were only 1-0 up at that period of strength. We really need to kind of get a second goal to put the game to bed and not really give them the opportunity to get back into it. So 15 minutes in, we've had a few shots. Again, nothing too fantastic in the way of chances, which is a bit of a stark contrast for the last few games I'd played off stream. We were on fire. But again, whether this is Puskas playing well or whether it's just not us really taking our chances, not quite sure. But we'll see how it develops as we get in towards half time. First highlight then, looks like it's going Puskas' way. They've got the ball at the back, unless we can put some pressure on and win it back high up. Moving down the left hand side there, we've won the ball back. Pinter's got a good chance to drive forward, plays out wide to Halmai. He cuts through. Oh my goodness, lovely little play, broke to the byline. Thought he was going to deliver it across to one of the players in the middle, of which we had a good little overload there going on, but he cut back inside onto his right foot and found the net. So skinned his man. I thought he was going to deliver it back to one of these two. He didn't, took it on himself and delivered a lovely finish into the far post to put us 1-0 up. Nothing more really than we deserve. I think we've been the better side. It'd be hard to argue against that. We've just not really turned that dominance into goals. But again, only really one team in it at this stage. Again, dominating possession, which is what we're looking for. It's one of the club visions, is to play a good possession game, football, a high press. and that's been working out well for us so far. There's Kern, player that we wanted to keep on loan. We didn't get to keep him, but it's nice to see him getting a first team opportunity, especially in the first division, because we all know he's good enough. Ball played through there to the centre forward, and they've tied the score. I mean, that's a lovely little through ball from Dominguez. When he cuts it back. Who's that? Gula into Dominguez. Yeah, first time pass to Bakambu. Again, they've not really been in the game. That's the frustrating part. We've let them get into the game, and we now have to find some way of getting our noses back in front. Again, whoever I start doesn't seem to play particularly great, but we'll get Kravakovic off and we'll get Jurgens on. See if he can get some of them goals he got. Sellers will get off for Kusk. And who's that? Bardos. Yeah, we'll get Bardos. We'll get Kalmar. Oh, playtime. Just clicked on the wrong one there. How do I undo the last one? Cancel that. Go back in. There you go. Slip of the finger and it all goes wrong. So there we go. Back into it. Sellers for Kusk. Kravakovic for Jurgens. And then Bardos for Kalmar. And we'll see if them changes can give us a bit of a positivity and maybe take control of this game towards the latter stages. We go into the final 25 minutes. I mean, Jurgens, their first few games after the first episode of the season, as Bakambu gets a header at the back post, and this is all starting to come apart now. I think we're really tiring in midfield. And what have we got? Got Bal and Ola in there. We'll get him on, and that's really about it in terms of what changes we can make. So we've got 20 minutes to try and rescue this game. Pinter for Horvath is kind of the final change we'll really make. Bakambu's getting too much space, and really we're kind of drifting out with a little bit of a damp squib here. Again, positive at the start, good possession. We're not capitalised on it. Gundel Takacs makes a great claim from that. Go a little bit more positive, but I think this might drift out of it. How am I getting a chance to break from their corner? Ola down the left hand side to Kalmar, taking a backward step as we move down the side, and we've given the ball away again. But we've won it back. Halmai, chance to break into Jurgens. Gets a corner, so maybe a chance to deliver something good. Simmet will take the corner. Don't really have Kravakovic there as the target man. Stojka puts it back out, and this time it's been claimed by the keeper. So 8 minutes to go. Really looking for a hero to step up. I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're going to drift out of the cup, which is very unfortunate. But again, I suppose the flip side, as we always say, is it gives you a chance to concentrate on the league. And, well, to beat them 3-0 away and then lose 2-1 at home in the cup is a bit hard to take. I mean, the wingers played all right. Jurgens a little bit inconsistent, probably to do with his age, but I think we gave it a good effort. We just didn't, again, take our opportunities when we were dominating the game. It's a bit hard to take. Youthful Budafok came unstuck. We do have quite a young team, and that's something that we do intentionally to try and kind of make a profit on players as they develop, to build the club stature, to build the finances. Because when I play the game, one of the things I like to look at is making sure we are financially secure. So even before the takeover, we like to make sure that the club projection is going in kind of a positive manner. We're not in any debts. So really we're doing it sustainably, and it's just about kind of bringing them gems in through the youth system or on free transfers, moving them on for a bit of a profit so that you can then buy them really good high profile stars when you need them. All that being said, I'll probably get through to the January transfer window. We'll make the next episode that kind of transfer window strengthening. We'll see where we are as we approach 2/3 of the way into the season, and then we'll get ready for the final push. So once again, thanks for watching. Another big thanks to everyone who subscribed, watched along, stuck a thumbs up on it, and again, please feel free to comment. Not much just so it kind of helps the algorithm and boosts the videos, but more so we can develop the content. So if there's things that you want to see that I'm not showing, if I'm kind of glossing over something you want to see a bit more information on, just let me know in the comment section, and I'm sure I can put a bit of focus on it in the next episode. So Once again, thank you very much. You all take care, and I will see you next time.